sound man who didn't record anything, but we have the real cameraman because Audi did record quite a lot of the footage. Let me just pass it to him.
What is your experience like filming all the time?
Any questions?
What is real that is being captured by you?
What is what?
Real that's being captured by
Real.
you.
Oh, real. What is real?
It's not real.
What is real but it's not real?
I'd rather ask what is real because
What do you mean?
what is, I mean, you are the one that's capturing the footage, right?
Oh,
So for example, I know that the headless shadow
That is real.
that is real.
That can be.
The headless shadow is absolutely real. Every headless shadow that you've seen is real.
Yeah.
It's a real shadow.
That's real. It's explained by Andrew though in the movie. It's real. I'm not kidding. Why would I? I'm not gonna lie about that. We're exposing everything. The headless shadow is real.
even okay, that headless shadow actually appeared in quite
It's
a
not-
number of photos
Yeah,
that
3.
was on the blog and on the Facebook page.
That's right.
And it really stirred a discussion going on saying that is that real? Is that fake? But I personally thought that was fake. Yeah.
A real shadow.
I mean, I think the question that you wanted to ask is that a real headless person, right? Because
that shadow, I want to know whether that shadow that appeared in almost, I think, a few photos on the Facebook page, right? Is that real or is that Photoshop?
yeah, our answer to is that's a real picture of a headless shadow.
Yeah, that was not Photoshop at all.
Okay, thank you. Now I got a story to tell.
I think once again to reiterate the fact that 90% of the film that we shot is real. Whether it's by the 2 infrared cameras, whether it's by our helmet cams, by the other cameras as well.
Actually, you could even argue. I mean, like look at Xiao Chen. Is Xiao Chen real?
No.
She is though, because she's really there, right? So, but is she really a ghost
she's just
living
a
in
character.
OCH? Right?
She's just a character in the movie.
That's right, but still real. She was really in OCH.
That's how we argued actually. We didn't lie at all. It was what you guys choose to believe.
I mean, I think once again it goes back to the concept of a mockumentary. You know, what is it? What's real? What's not? Like I mentioned earlier, you know, Changi Hospital is real. I think a lot of stories that or our film, we touched on a lot of rumors that have been surviving in Changi Hospital. You know, you grab a cab, you talk to cab drivers, they tell heaps of stories. Whether if you believe them or not, you know, what we did was, I suppose, to create. Using some of those rumors as well to create a movie for your experience. Of course, once again, you know, do you believe that it's real? Do you believe it's not real? You know, once again, we can all testify that 90% of what we shot is literally all there. We didn't even plant anything except some of those things that we planted to aid in the story. Because ultimately, as a movie, it is about storytelling. So, you know, what story do you want to tell? And I think, honestly, for me personally, the character Andrew was playing exactly Tony himself. Because he went back alone, like the character did. He edited everything till his beard grew out, like, you know, editing. Yeah, so a lot of things that was done in character by Andrew is actually Tony. You know, he went there alone at night. He spent time in the shops. He slept with Sueanne, you know. Yeah. And even the online interactions that we've done, because I was busy with other productions, Tony was the one that actually took the lead in a lot of the interactions as Andrew as well. So a lot of responses. If you ever message Andrew Lau on Facebook, it's Tony. So he is Andrew.
I mean, just to touch on that as well. I guess this movie is a process. I want to say it again. Like, I mean, it's very admirable, I think, as a person to be doing everything at once. Like, you know, capturing, filming, editing, doing the marketing, the movement and stuff like that. Everything on Facebook is Tony. And I mean, I would say that, it's very inspiring to me as a person, as a young entrepreneur as well. That, you know, that everything is done by one single person. I mean, most of the stuff. And it's really, really hard being in this industry in Singapore. And it's really hard. I mean, like actually, Haunted Changi, I like to highlight also that it's actually, there's a test market, right? To a movie called Third Eye Awakening. And that's gonna be open awakening. That's Spring Awakening, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's a different story. So anyway, yeah, and this movie itself is larger than any one individual. And I mean, to be doing this alone is really, really hard.
Okay, but I had help. These guys did help me. But it was actually Haunted Changi was a test for me to keep because of the genre, the faux documentary, and low budget and no sets. And affordable actors, you know, thank you. No, I mean, you guys are affordable, they overcharge. So, it was meant to be a test. I wanted to test the Singapore market, I wanted to test the people that we were dealing with, I needed to figure out how the relationship's going to be with the distributors, because it is a business and it is very expensive, so it's easier to test it all with a very low budget movie. So it was a test.
Can you tell us about your experience in getting distribution? Because since it's a test, it's a very new format in Singapore. Can you tell us about the obstacle that you faced? What strategy did you use to secure distribution?
Useful? Okay, distribution-wise, yeah, it's very difficult. There's a lot of things to talk about, but okay, first, one of the big hurdles, especially in Singapore, and maybe if there's some filmmakers out here that might be interested in this, is when we pitched this movie, one of the big things was we did get meetings with distributors, many of the major ones that you know their names, and we did go through the process, and every one of them turned us down because they said that Singaporeans will not go see an English-speaking movie made in Singapore. They have no faith that Singaporeans would watch a locally made English-speaking movie. And then they cited because there's never been a locally made movie made in English that was successful. And then I said, but there's not really been many local, movies made in English, period. Or movies that are made in English that are for the mainstream or that people want to see, a lot of people want to see. So they all shot us down on that. They were absolutely convinced that there was no way you guys were going to watch this movie. Golden Village, then, on the other hand, and actually the cinemas, the final thing, you want to get it in the cinemas. The cinemas actually were open. I mean, at least Cathay and GV and Angwa supported us. And they were confident. Well, I wouldn't say totally confident, but they obviously believed in it enough to put it out there. It's the distributors, the people who are dealing with the cinemas. It's supposed to be the liaison between the filmmaker and the cinemas. Of course, it would be great if every filmmaker can just go to the cinema and make a deal. But GV even had doubts. Everybody had doubts, actually, because it's still low budget, it's still locally made, it's still English. So there was a lot of doubts. I'll tell you what I did. Anytime I had doubts, whenever we had a business meeting, I would go on Facebook and I would hype it up. And I would tell people, help us tell people, and get more people on there. And finally, eventually, is undeniable. You can't, when you had 50,000 fans, you can't say nobody cares anymore. Then the question basically they still had their doubts. They still said, oh, but you guys have 50,000 fans, but are 50, are they going to go watch the movie? That was a big question. And nobody knew that. I didn't even know that. And actually, I felt a big responsibility when the movie was coming out. I was like, I might just be shooting myself in the foot. And not only me, but the rest of the local filmmakers. I could really be doing damage here. I'm either going to it's either going to help the industry or it's going to hurt it. Because if the film does not do well, what it says is, you can promote on Facebook as an independent filmmaker, which everybody can, anybody can do it. But you can have all the fans you can gather, but it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't do well at the box office. And if Haunted Changi did not do well, the cinemas will basically never take that into account again. Any other independent filmmaker, including myself, goes there and says, I got 50,000 fans. They're going to say, so what? Haunted Changi had 50,000 fans and nobody watched it. Thankfully, it actually, those numbers proved actually twice as many people that were fans saw the movie. So that definitely means that the fans actually went to see the movie. Maybe not all of them, but that was helpful. So what you have to do is, not to ramble here, but you need to prove to the cinemas that you have a fan base. There's no longer an excuse. It used to be independent film, you have to go to festivals, you don't have money for marketing. You can put a page on Facebook for free. You just have to drive it. But that takes time, which is then money to some people. So that's one thing. If you prove you have the viewers. Okay, the other thing is don't depend on a distributor to do it for you because they're not going to do anything for you. Literally, they're not. They're not going to do much of anything. They're going to take your movie and they're going to get a percentage out of it. They're not going to make your movie popular, especially not here. They're not going to you know, do much of anything. You have to do it all.